Cat nail trims shouldn't feel like you're wrestling a tiny tornado armed with knives. If you've ever tried trimming your cat's claws and walked away looking like you fought a rosebush, you already know the standard advice doesn't cut it. I'm Jasmine Caldwell, and I've spent nearly a decade grooming dogs, but cats, they taught me humility real fast. What finally worked wasn't restraint or speed, it was understanding how cats actually think and working with their instincts instead of against them. You're listening to the Pet Parent Podcast. Quick note before we get started. Everything you're about to hear is researched and written by real human experts in pet care, but the voice you're hearing is AI generated. We do this so we can bring you high-quality information more consistently. Just wanted to be upfront about that. If you've been listening for a while, thank you, honestly. It's good to have you back. And if you're new here, welcome aboard. We release new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, covering all things pet care, from grooming and training to health and supplies. Now, let's get into today's topic. I'm going to share 7 vet-approved techniques that'll help you trim your cat's nails without ending up covered in scratches. I'll be honest with you, when my neighbor begged me to help trim her Persian's nails after 3 bleeding attempts, I had no idea what I was getting into. I thought my dog grooming experience would translate. It didn't. But through trial, research, and yes, a few strategic band-aids, I figured out what actually works. The key isn't about holding your cat down tighter or moving faster before they notice. It's about reading feline body language and building cooperation instead of forcing compliance. In this guide, I'm walking you through 7 vet-approved techniques that turn nail trimming from a battle into something manageable. These methods work for cats of all ages, anxious kittens, senior cats with arthritis, and everything in between. They focus on desensitization, positioning, and timing rather than brute force. Once your cat is acclimated, most nail trims take 5 to 10 minutes. Getting to that point might take a week or 2 of conditioning, but it's worth it. You'll learn everything from proper restraint techniques to recognizing those subtle stress signals that tell you when to pause. Let's start with what you'll need before you even think about touching those clippers. First, cat-specific nail clippers, either scissor-style or guillotine-style, work fine. Just avoid dog clippers because they're too large for feline nails. If you're starting from scratch and want to know which type is best for beginners, I've got another guide that breaks down the differences in detail. You'll also want styptic powder or cornstarch on hand for quick bleeding control if you accidentally cut the quick. High-value treats are essential. Small, soft pieces your cat actually gets excited about, not just their regular kibble. Grab a towel or blanket too, preferably 100% cotton or fleece, at least 24 by 36 inches. This is for the burrito wrap technique I'll cover later. Good lighting matters more than you'd think. Natural daylight or a bright LED lamp helps you see the quick clearly, which prevents accidents. A nail file or grinder is optional but useful for smoothing sharp edges after trimming. And sometimes, not always, a helper can be useful for particularly anxious cats, though honestly, solo trimming is often easier. Now, here's where most people go wrong right out of the gate. They try to trim nails on day 1. Don't do that. Cats need gradual desensitization to paw handling before you introduce clippers anywhere near them. Start by simply touching your cat's paws during calm moments, while they're lounging in your lap or dozing in their favorite spot. Gently press the paw pad to extend the nails, hold for 2 seconds, then immediately offer a treat. Just do this once or twice per paw, then stop completely. You're building a positive association in their brain. Paw touch equals treat. Over the next few days, increase the duration. Press the pad a bit longer, hold individual toes, and introduce the sound of the clippers snapping near your cat, but not on them yet. Keep these sessions under 2 minutes. The moment your cat tenses up, flattens their ears, or pulls away, you've pushed too far. Back up a step. I learned this lesson with my neighbor's Persian. The first 3 days, I just sat next to him while he ate, occasionally touching his front paws. That's it. By day 5, he let me hold each paw for 10 seconds without flinching. That foundation made the actual trim effortless later. Watch for signs your cat is ready. You want relaxed body language, purring or contentment during paw touches, and no attempt to flee when you pick up their foot. If they're still twitchy after a week, give it more time. Rushing this stage is exactly how you end up scratched. Timing is everything when you're trying to trim cat nails without losing skin. Never attempt this when your cat is wound up from play, hungry before dinner, or in high-traffic areas of your home. The ideal window is post-meal or right after a play session, when your cat is naturally drowsy. I trim nails right after breakfast in my quietest room. No TV, no dogs wandering through, just calm and boring. Cats are crepuscular, meaning they're most active at dawn and dusk, so mid-morning or early afternoon works best for most of them. Set up in a small, enclosed space where your cat can't bolt and hide under furniture. A bathroom with the door closed works perfectly. Position yourself on the floor or a low chair with your cat on a non-slip surface. A yoga mat or rubber bath mat keeps them from sliding, which reduces their anxiety. Close windows if outside noise is an issue. Some cats startle at lawnmowers or delivery trucks, and that spike of adrenaline can trigger a defensive scratch. I've also learned to silence my phone. Nothing ruins the zen like a sudden notification buzz. Temperature matters too, believe it or not. A warm room, around 70 to 75 degrees, keeps cats relaxed, while cold surfaces make them tense and less cooperative. If your bathroom has tile floors, lay down that towel or blanket first. If your cat tolerates paw handling but still seems nervous about the clippers, break the task into micro sessions. You don't need to trim all 4 paws in one sitting. Seriously, you don't. Start with just the front paws, which are easier to access and less sensitive than the back ones. Hold your cat in your lap facing away from you, with their back against your stomach. This position gives you control without making your cat feel pinned down face to face, which can trigger defensiveness. Gently press one paw pad to extend the nails. Identify the quick, that's the pinkish vein visible through the nail on lighter colored claws. On dark nails, you'll need to trim conservatively, cutting only the sharp, hooked tip. Trim about 2 to 3 millimeters below the quick at a 45-degree angle, removing just the pointed end. Here's the key. Trim 1 or 2 nails, then release your cat with a treat and praise. Yes, really, just 1 or 2. Come back an hour later, or even the next day, and do 2 more. This incremental approach teaches your cat that nail trims are brief and not worth fighting. I used this method on a rescue Siamese who'd been forcibly restrained during previous trims. The first session, I trimmed 2 nails on her right front paw. She walked away confused, but not traumatized. By week 3, she sat calmly for all 4 paws in a single 5-minute session. For kittens between 8 and 16 weeks, this technique builds lifelong tolerance. For senior cats or those with arthritis, it reduces the physical strain of extended restraint. Between the conditioning and the incremental approach, you're setting up success for years to come. Now, some cats simply won't hold still no matter how patient you are. For these feline Houdinis, the burrito wrap provides gentle, non-threatening restraint. Lay a large towel flat on your work surface. Place your cat in the center, facing away from you. Fold one side of the towel over their body, tucking it snugly under the opposite side. Then fold the other side over, creating a secure wrap that immobilizes their body but leaves the head free. Your cat should look like a fuzzy burrito with just their face poking out. Pull out one paw at a time through the towel opening, trim the nails, then tuck it back in and extract the next paw. The constant, gentle pressure of the towel has a calming effect similar to those anxiety vests for dogs. It provides security rather than triggering panic. Technique details matter here. Don't wrap so tightly that your cat can't breathe or feels crushed. You want firm but gentle. Support their body weight with one arm while you work. If your cat starts open-mouthed breathing, thrashing violently, or vocalizing in distress, unwrap immediately and try again later. Those are stress signals, not just annoyance. I use this method for my neighbor's tabby, who's sweet but hyperactive. The wrap keeps her from spinning like a top while I work, and she actually purrs through most of it now. The key is pairing the wrap with treats during the conditioning phase, so your cat doesn't associate the towel with fear. For cats with a history of aggressive behavior during grooming, consider a professional groomer or veterinary technician for the first few sessions. Some cats need feline-specific calming pheromone spray or even mild sedation prescribed by a vet for extreme cases. There's no shame in asking for help. Here's a technique I stumbled onto by accident that works beautifully for food-motivated cats. I call it the distraction trim. Sit in a comfortable chair with your cat in your lap, facing away from you. Have a helper or use a suction cup lick mat stuck to a table at cat height to offer a continuous stream of wet food, squeeze up treats, or tuna paste. While your cat is laser-focused on licking, quickly and quietly trim 3 or 4 nails. The key word is quickly. You're not trying to sneak around. Cats notice everything, but you're taking advantage of their divided attention. Most cats will tolerate quite a bit when a delicious reward is involved. I've trimmed all 4 paws on a particularly food-obsessed orange tabby in under 3 minutes using squeeze-up chicken treats. This works best for cats who are already comfortable with paw handling, but just don't like holding still. It's less effective for truly fearful cats who won't eat during stressful situations. Here's the setup. Position yourself so your cat's back is against your torso. Use your non-dominant hand to hold the paw and extend the nails, and your dominant hand to clip. Work in a smooth, continuous motion. Hesitating gives your cat time to register what's happening and pull away. Some cats will lick the treat happily for 30 seconds, then suddenly realize you're trimming nails and bolt. That's fine. You got a few nails done, which is progress. Repeat the process the next day until you've completed all paws. Understanding feline body language is non-negotiable when you're learning how to trim cat nails without getting scratched. Cats give multiple warnings before they scratch. Most people just miss them. Watch for these escalating stress signals: ear rotation, ears swivel backward or flatten against the head; tail behavior, thrashing, puffing up, or tucking tightly against the body; vocalization, low growls, hissing, or a sudden silence if your cat was purring before; pupil dilation, pupils become large and black even in bright light; skin rippling, the skin along their back twitches or rolls; paw tensing, the paw becomes rigid or they actively try to retract it; attempted escape, leaning away, twisting their body, or trying to push off your lap. When you see any of these signals, stop immediately. Put down the clippers, release the paw, and give your cat space. Pushing through these signals is how you lose trust and get scratched. I learned this the hard way with my neighbor's Persian during our early sessions. He gave me the flattened ears and tail swish, classic warning signs, but I figured one more nail wouldn't hurt. Wrong. He caught my thumb with a warning swat, claws out, that taught me to respect his limits. The brilliant thing about cats is they're honest communicators. If you stop when they ask, they learn they have control, which paradoxically makes them more cooperative over time. Forced restraint teaches them they need to fight harder next time. For particularly sensitive cats, trim just 1 or 2 nails per session for the first month. Yes, it takes longer, but you're building a foundation of trust that lasts years. Compare that to the cat who spends the next decade hiding under the bed at the sight of nail clippers. Once you've successfully trimmed your cat's nails without injury to either of you, the final step is making it routine. Indoor cats need nail trims every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on their activity level and scratching habits. Senior cats with reduced mobility may need more frequent trims because they don't wear their nails down as effectively. Mark your calendar or set a phone reminder. Consistency is crucial. The more regularly you trim, the less your cat stresses about it. Irregular sessions feel like surprises, which cats hate. Predictable routines feel safe. I trim on the first Sunday of every month. My neighbor's cats now anticipate it. Not enthusiastically, but without panic. And the actual trim takes maybe 7 minutes across 3 cats. That's less time than brushing teeth. Keep sessions short and positive. Even if you could technically trim all 4 paws in one go, splitting it across 2 sessions keeps your cat's stress low and cooperation high. Always end on a good note. If the last nail goes smoothly, stop there. Don't push for just one more paw and risk undoing your progress. Between trims, provide appropriate scratching surfaces, sturdy posts, corrugated cardboard scratchers, or sisal mats to help your cat naturally maintain their nails. Regular grooming routines, including nail care, contribute to overall feline health and reduce stress across the board. For outdoor or indoor-outdoor cats, you may be able to extend the interval to 6 to 8 weeks because they wear down their nails on natural surfaces, but still check monthly. Overgrown nails can curl into paw pads, causing pain and infection. Let me share some pro tips from the grooming table that make a real difference. Use a headlamp or clip-on light if you're working alone. Seeing the quick clearly prevents accidental cuts, and you need both hands free. File after trimming. A quick pass with a nail file or cat-safe grinder smooths sharp edges that can catch on furniture or your skin. Some cats actually tolerate filing better than clipping, so experiment. If your cat tolerates bathing, trim after a bath. Slightly softened nails cut more cleanly. Keep sessions under 10 minutes total. Even cooperative cats have a tolerance limit. Going longer risks destroying the positive association you've built. Never trim nails as punishment or when you're frustrated. Cats read your emotions, and tension makes them defensive. Now for common mistakes to avoid. Cutting too short is the big one. If you nick the quick, it bleeds and hurts. Apply styptic powder immediately and give your cat space. They'll forgive you, but try to avoid it because it sets back your training. Using dull clippers is another problem. Old or cheap clippers crush the nail instead of cutting cleanly, which is painful for your cat. Replace clippers annually, or sharpen them if possible. Forcing the issue when your cat is genuinely terrified doesn't work. If your cat is still panicking after multiple conditioning sessions, consult your vet about gabapentin or other mild anti-anxiety medication for trimming days. Some cats have trauma histories that require pharmaceutical support, and that's okay. Don't trim during high-stress periods. Moving houses, introducing a new pet, or during illness is not the time to push nail trims. Wait until life stabilizes. Let me answer some questions that come up all the time. How often should you trim your cat's nails to prevent scratching damage? Indoor cats typically need their nails trimmed every 2 to 4 weeks to prevent overgrowth and minimize damage to furniture and skin during play. Active cats who use scratching posts regularly may stretch this to 4 to 6 weeks, while senior or sedentary cats often need trims every 2 to 3 weeks because they don't wear their nails down naturally. Check your cat's nails weekly. If you can hear clicking on hard floors when they walk, or if the nails are visibly curving, it's time for a trim. What should you do if you accidentally cut the quick and your cat's nail bleeds? Apply styptic powder, cornstarch, or baking soda directly to the bleeding nail and hold gentle pressure for 30 to 60 seconds until the bleeding stops. Keep your cat calm and confined to prevent them from running and reopening the wound. The bleeding should stop within a few minutes, but if it continues beyond 5 to 10 minutes or your cat seems distressed, contact your veterinarian. Don't attempt to trim more nails that session. End on a positive note with treats and try again in a few days after your cat has forgiven you. Can you use human nail clippers on your cat? Human nail clippers can work in a pinch for small cats or kittens, but they're not ideal because they're designed for flat human nails rather than the curved structure of cat claws. They tend to crush rather than cut cleanly, which can cause splitting or discomfort. Cat-specific scissor-style or guillotine clippers are specifically angled for feline nail anatomy and provide cleaner cuts with less pressure. If you're just starting out, invest in proper cat clippers. They're inexpensive, usually around $8 to $15, and make the process significantly easier for both you and your cat. Why does your cat scratch you during nail trims even though you're being gentle? Cats scratch during nail trims due to fear, overstimulation, or feeling trapped rather than malice. Even gentle handling can trigger a defensive response if your cat hasn't been properly desensitized to paw touching, or if you're restraining them in a way that makes them feel pinned down. Watch for warning signs like flattened ears, tail thrashing, or dilated pupils, and stop immediately when you see them. If your cat consistently scratches despite gradual conditioning, try the burrito wrap method for secure but non-threatening restraint, or consider working with a professional groomer or veterinary technician to teach you handling techniques specific to your cat's temperament. So here's the bottom line. Learning how to trim cat nails without getting scratched isn't about overpowering your cat or moving so quickly they don't notice. It's about building trust through gradual desensitization, choosing optimal timing, and respecting their communication when they've had enough. The 7 techniques I've shared, from paw conditioning and burrito wraps to distraction methods and stress signal recognition, give you multiple approaches to find what works for your cat's unique personality. Start with 5 to 7 days of paw handling before introducing clippers. Work in quiet environments during your cat's naturally drowsy periods. Trim conservatively, stopping at the first sign of stress, and always end sessions with high-value treats. Consistency matters more than perfection. Regular, short sessions build cooperation faster than occasional wrestling matches. Your cat's nails will need attention every 2 to 4 weeks for life. Make it a routine both of you can tolerate, and you'll protect your furniture, your skin, and most importantly, your relationship with your cat. That wraps up this episode of the Pet Parent Podcast. Thanks for listening. I genuinely hope these techniques make your next nail trimming session go a whole lot smoother. We drop new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always something useful coming your way. If you found this episode helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a 5-star rating and write a quick review. It makes a huge difference in helping other pet parents discover the show, and it lets me know what's working for you. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode drops. I'll catch you next time.